Hi boys and girls, welcome back to week 7 of Art at Home. Today we're going to be trying out creating a textured tinfoil design using either string or glue. And I wanted to show you how to do that. You're going to need to find some scrap cardboard. You're going to need a little bit of aluminum foil from your kitchen. And you can either use some type of yarn or cord, or you can, if you have access to it, use a thick glue like Aleene's tacky glue in a bottle, or if you have a low temperature glue gun, one that's really nice and safe, you can use that as well. And I'll show you what to do with that. So start off by cutting out your shape. I started out by just cutting out rectangles. And like I've said in previous videos, you do that by tracing a rectangle, or you can use a straight edge so that it's not all crooked, and then cut it out with your scissors. But I realized you could use other shapes too, so I went ahead and made a heart, and I also made a circle here. So on the circle, I'll show you how to use the glue gun, but on the rectangle, I've already pre-cut some notches around the edge of it, and I'm taking my length of yarn and I'm going through and under the notches in a different shape and different directions, just like this. Back and forth, every which way, in a way that I think looks kind of cool. And if I don't like it, I can always change it by taking the yarn back out. But when you're done, you are going to trim it, leave a little bit of length of cord so that you can tie them together in the back, and then double knot it. Okay, now you're gonna need a piece of tinfoil that's about an inch larger than your design to cover the entire thing. So here's a piece of tinfoil. I'm gonna put it right here, and then where I want it to cut, I'm gonna fold it over and then give it a nice crease. And here you can use scissors if you're nervous, but if you want to just tear it, just hold down on your piece and pull the extra away. If you have it available to you, you can help this stick down by carefully laying glue stick on top of here. I have liquid glue here, but I don't have any glue stick right now, so I'm not going to do that. But that's an extra that's an extra thing you can do to help it stick down. If it's a little bit on the big side too, you can also cut your corners off. I like to do that when I'm covering things that are square. But then you're just going to take the tin foil and then roll it backwards over your shape like this. And then use a bit of Scotch tape or masking tape to hold it in place on each side. So I'm just going to fold these back like this. And then put tape on each edge. Okay, after you've taped all 4 edges, get a bit of paper towel or a little bit of soft fabric, and then bunch it up in your hands, and then start to rub the design. And if you have the wet glue stick on there, that will help it stick a little bit better. But even if you don't have the wet glue stick, your design starts to show up pretty darn well. So go ahead and rub it all down. And you can start to see the strings show up. It looks really cool. You are going to need a permanent marker, not a watercolor marker like a Crayola marker, but one like a Sharpie to do this design. And if you have all the colors of the rainbow, that's great. These are the Sharpies that I have at home. I have black and pink, so I use those. And you can fill in your negative spaces using the Sharpie to make the design really stand out like this. When you're coloring on foil, the Sharpie doesn't dry as quickly as it does when you're drawing on paper. And also make sure to protect the surface of the table. So if I were doing this in the classroom, I would have like a little placemat down, but since I'm just coloring this little corner, I'm just gonna stay away from my edge here. If you're ever doing this, boys and girls, and you mess up, if you use a little bit of rubbing alcohol that's usually in your medicine cabinet, you can rub it on top of the Sharpie and it will erase it. Another technique that you can do is to create a design using hot glue, but make sure it's the cool melt kind and make sure you have permission. Draw your design here. If you have glue in the bottle, you can carefully draw the liquid glue too. I think from what I've read, they said that the craft glue that's really thick works better. You can also maybe put glue down, and if you have the string, lay the string in the glue. But I had a lot of success just using the hot glue here and going around the coil. You have to go slow though. And then drawing your designs. Once that's 100% cool, you can do the same thing with the foil going over top of that. And that's this week's art project. I hope you have a lot of fun. If you don't have a permanent marker, don't sweat it. You can just rub it down. If you have the glue stick, you can put it on the back of your foil before you stick it to the backing. It will help it stick down a little bit more. I found, boys and girls, I was rubbing it with my fingers, but I found if I rub it with a little bit of soft fabric, I get a lot more texture in this design. You can make a series. You could put, 4 small ones together on a mounted background and do all sorts of cool things. When you're done with your art project, go ahead and email it to me. I love seeing what you make, and I miss all of you very much. Have a great week. Do lots of beautiful things. See ya.